Right, Joe, only one place to start. You'll be delighted by the fact we will be talking about Man United against Liverpool. Massive local rivalry. Big game as well in the battle for European spaces. So no better time than to do a combined 11. So usual rules apply. Loz and Mina are going to bring their strongest Man United and Liverpool combined 11 to the table. Now, this is based on this season.
And only.
Metric.
Only this season.
Yeah.
Only.
So
we don't want to have historic picks in here.
No, I just wanted to be clear about that, because that would make some of my picks look weird otherwise.
I agree with you.
No, that's fair enough. Any disagreement, Luca, as the neutral, you're the gaffer here, you'll have final say, OK?
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Right, let's start with the keeper. Who you gone for?
We both agree on this, I think.
This might be the only thing we might agree on today.
Oh.
Maybe?
No, I think there's more we might agree on, to be honest.
Okay, I'll be optimistic.
I think it was a great signing, and I think when you sign a solid goalkeeper, then it sets you right for the rest of your back line, and you guys have done that, right?
Yeah, I think goalkeeper is a graveyard shift for United over the last couple of seasons, and he's just offered that stability, that patience, and a good price tag in the summer, I think. And he's quite young.
Do you think he was United's signing this season?
Best signing? Yeah, I would probably actually say he's been our best, 100%.
And obviously, there's no Alisson in here, but he's had his injury problems, right? He's been out of the team a little bit.
And then Mamardashvili hasn't, I think, quite had the impact, should we say, that I think Lemons has had. I think Mamardashvili is still a great goalkeeper. And obviously, Freddie Woodman stepped out last weekend, so we've been through all of our top goalkeepers. I just think this guy has changed the tone of Manchester United's back line. There used to be a lot of set pieces where people worry a little bit, or if someone's through on goal, suddenly you've got a guy who doesn't just stick his arms up in the air and pretend that the ball was close to him, and that makes a massive difference for me.
The biggest compliment I can pay to Senna Lomans is the fact that there's so little coverage on him. If you think about how previous Man United keepers, particularly Nana, there was so much coverage every time he played, that I think the fact that he's come in and quietened that noise down has been such a huge factor for him. Total agreement. Luca, you might have to do the honours. Let's stick it on the board.
What the best keepers do, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's go to right back then.
Go on.
I think Dominic Szoboszlai.
Szoboszlai.
OK. I mean, overly complimentary for Thiago Dalot then.
Interesting. Liverpool fan gone with the Man United player. Man United fan gone with the Liverpool player.
I just think he fits in elsewhere for me.
Right.
So that's the only argument.
And I didn't want to put him elsewhere, so I put him at right back.
Because we have to have Szoboszlai in the team
100%.
somewhere.
I think he has to be somewhere in the side. I think most of us agreed it's not right back. He's a very good player who starts formationally, should we say, on your lineups as a right back, but then slips into midfield a lot more. Normally when people at Liverpool are dominant, and we haven't been all that dominant this year. So he hasn't really been, I wouldn't even call him the best right back out of all the selections. I would say this guy's been better this year.
I think it's a compliment to him playing at right back that I picked him over other right backs at Manchester United. And I think when you think of this season, he's played 32 games in the Premier League, and 25% of that has been at right back. And that's in the big games against Arsenal, against City, against Newcastle. Some of his goals came from there. And like you said, when he plays at right back, he can shift in centrally. The only other place that he's played more is in the 10. And I didn't want to put him in the 10. He has to be in the team. I'm thinking if you put him at right back and he's shifting into the midfield, we've seen that happen.
I understand. You're leaving space for Wirtz, that's fair enough. I think the point is with Dalot, a lot of people forget that United's season's been split into weird segments, and actually what you need is really solid characters. And, we can talk about the impact of the play on the field, but I know, again, some of these guys get a lot of hate because they play in difficult positions that are the most exposed on the field. I still think he's the most solid pick for right back this year. And frankly, I couldn't pick Frimpong because he was been injured for such a long time, as good as he's been. He's mostly played right wing for us when he has actually played. And sadly, Conor Bradley's been out for most of the year. Both those guys, fantastic players, but not fit. The fact this guy is so consistent just really helps me.
OK, interesting one. Luca, you'll have the final say. Where do you stand on this debate?
Well, I think Szoboszlai has to be in this team. And when I did my combined 11, I also had him right back, because I think when he's played there, he's been the highest quality out of all the right back available. So I'm going to go with Szoboszlai right back.
Love that. And what I love about that, Luca's done his prep as well. He's taken this managerial role.
I've got my team as well, guys. Don't worry.
Serious that he's done it himself. So Szoboszlai takes it.
Also amazing we're going to have Szoboszlai in the team twice, guys, for a combined 11. This is going to be awesome.
I don't think that's ever happened on...
Yeah, well, let's make it happen.
Let's do both your centre-backs together.
OK, fair enough.
Because I don't think there's a lot of disagreement in this spot.
We agree on that one.
Total agreement.
I found it difficult to pick a Manchester United centre-back, and we were talking about this before, right, because it's about kind of what you want from a centre-back. And obviously, we're not talking about these two practically playing together. We're just talking about their best attributes, should we say. Why did you pick Harry Maguire?
I picked Harry Maguire because I think he's been the better centre-back than Konate. You look at the other side. Virgil van Dijk was always going to go into that. And you look at Man United's backline, maybe under Carrick, Harry Maguire's been in the team a lot more. He's been consistent. I think he's played 10 games in a row under Michael Carrick, and most of them have been wins. So for that reason, and also he's struggled with injuries, missed a game to suspension. But these two just made sense to me.
They did make sense to me. I can't say anyone's really covered themselves in glory this year, but I do think that Van Dijk has been a lot better than people give him credit for. And you've seen that a lot, I think, on social media.
Yeah,
I mean...
Do you think that, because obviously a lot has been made of Virgil van Dijk, undoubtedly one of the greatest centre-backs in Premier League history, but a lot of people have had their say. But you're right, most successful passes, clearances and aerial duels won of all Premier League players this season. Do you think people have been a bit harsh on Van Dijk this season?
The difficulty is systems are so important to the way that modern football works. And I think Liverpool have just really not understood their system this year. And maybe you'd say part of the responsibility that falls on Virgil van Dijk as the captain of the club to kind of, when you aren't understanding the system, get the performances out of the players and yourself as well. He's had a few moments where it's been, he's done something very specific that has gone wrong. And I think people have been able to pin that on him. But broadly, the performances outside of that have actually been quite good in Europe as well. So for him, to even be questioned is kind of crazy for me this year.
Happy with that, Luca?
Yeah, very happy. I would say, though, if De Ligt didn't get injured, I think he would have been in this team. Because up until November, I think he was operating as one of the best centre-halves in Europe. So, but yeah, out of the ones available based on the whole season, I think it's fair.
OK, do the honours, please, mate. Let's move on to left back, because I think we've got a disagreement at left back.
OK, sure.
We have.
Oh, we do.
Disagreement.
This guy's really grown into his role this year. And the reason I would put Kerkez forward is because he really didn't start very well at Liverpool in a system which looked like a real mess. And I think even now the players probably speak more candidly about it now than they would at the start of the season. What he did was he took away the unsure elements of his game where he was being asked to do, he wasn't quite sure what he was that he was being asked to do. And now he's really solid. In every game, he's a real threat. There's times where he's wandering into the box, wandering inside, wandering outside. He is always a consistent support for whoever's out there on the left. And I think as we've seen Gakpo move more centrally, we've seen better out of Kerkez. He is the player that I think has summarised what it is to grow into the Liverpool team. And I think as he's gotten his partnership with Van Dijk better and better and better, Liverpool have looked more sure and sure and sure.
Ironically, sure. You also used the word consistent there. Is this a big reason why you've picked Luke Shaw? Because incredibly this season, he started all 34 Premier League games this season. The most appearances he's ever made in a Premier League season is 35 for Southampton. That was 12 seasons ago. So this is a huge aspect of Luke Shaw's game. We all know how good he is, but is the fact that he's playing regularly now why you put him in your
100%.
team?
And I've been critical of him in the past about, his unavailability.
Yeah.
And you look at that backline for Manchester United, he's been one of the constants in an ever-changing backline across the course of the season, even, playing under Ruben Amorim and then under Michael Carrick. I'll say maybe going forward, Kerkez has offered more this season because Luke Shaw, I think, his legs are not 100% there, so he can't get up as fluidly as maybe he used to when he used to get forward. But I have to give him his credit. That's literally the reason why I've put him. I have to give him his credit because we've been critical of him, his injuries, just what he offers on the pitch. And I think he's just been, when a lot of teams play against United, I feel like they target the right-hand side a lot more, United's right-hand side a lot more, because I think there's a bit more weaknesses there defensively in comparison to coming up against a Luke Shaw.
Do you think he's benefited the fact that United haven't been in multiple cup competitions this season, so he has had that rest period? Because if you look back to injury records he's had with England and Manchester United, sometimes it feels like he's been rushed back quite quickly because of the amount of games he's had to play for club and country.
Of course, and of course United don't have that much depth at left-back. When we want to play someone else there, you've got Diogo Dalot maybe shifting in-game to playing at left-back. So that is a huge responsibility for Luke Shaw as well.
Luca?
I'd rather have Kerkez in my team, but based on this season, I think consistency-wise, you have to go Luke Shaw.
OK.
Incredible.
Wow, it's a lot of Man United
not happy.
going on the board early doors. Let's do the defensive midfielder next.
This one's easy, isn't it?
Let's come to you first, Luca, about Casemiro. What are your thoughts on the season that he's having in his sort of farewell tour at Old Trafford?
I think this is probably the most poetic end he can have at his time at United, to be honest. 9 goals this season, scoring in big games as well. I think he's been absolutely excellent. And of course, there was the whole dialogue on whether he was good enough to play at this level once again. And he's proved everyone wrong, and he's had an incredible season.
His goal scoring this season, he scored 9 Premier League goals. 8 of them have been headers.
8 have been headers, yeah.
And we saw Harry Maguire talking about how he's never seen a player that's as good
the best
in the air
player that he's played with
as Casemiro. But how impactful has he been?
He would be Liverpool's second top scorer in the Premier League.
Yeah. That's because most of the other ones have been injured.
That too.
Yeah.
But you can even relate how good Casemiro has been
absolutely.
for a farewell tour.
I remember when United signed him, and I thought it was actually a really solid signing in the first place because they needed experience. And I think a lot of people, we can talk about statistical contributions. it's about the makeup of your team and it's about the soul that your team has. And Casemiro has been one of those players that no matter the situation with the manager, no matter what's going on, he's just been a consistent presence in the dressing room that's been trying to pull United through difficult times. And I think he deserves the credit for that, not only on the field, but off the field as well.
Yeah, his leadership in Mina.
Yeah.
From a Manchester United fans' point of view, it's crazy on the pitch.
And defensively, I think people talk about his aerial threat, but defensively as well, he's a big help for Manchester United from set pieces, which is something we struggled a couple of seasons ago.
He's a big example of why a system can hang you out to dry sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think Liverpool, there was a few seasons ago, Liverpool with Klopp went to Old Trafford. It might have even actually been the first slot game where they played United.
It was September.
Yeah, they basically explained how they targeted the Casemiro position rather than Casemiro himself. And I think a lot of people are talking about the game leaving you. He is literally the definition of a player who benefits from having a manager that plays towards his strengths.
Okay, let's get him
Take him down, he's nailed on.
and find out who's playing alongside him.
We do a minute at the base for now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Unbelievably, Dominic Szoboszlai is going to appear in this team twice. Yeah, he's definitely going to appear in this team twice.
We can't appear in the team twice. We've got him a right back.
That's not one of the rules.
It's absolutely one of the rules. How can you have one player in two different positions?
Well, because he's been that good in two different positions this year. And let's be honest about this, Szoboszlai has been absolutely world-class in so many different games. Not only from set pieces, not only in the way that he plays, not only from the distances that he runs, not only... There's so many different ways you can get him into the team. He has been fantastic, and he's enabled the people behind him, ahead of him, and even beside him. He has literally been the only ever present for Liverpool this year. And people at one point were talking about the reason he wears number 8 is because he is that Steven Gerrard type figure. I love Kobbie Mainoo. I think he's an absolutely fantastic player. I don't want to make an argument against him. But if we're talking about consistency and presence in the midfield and at right back, it's him.
Luca, you made the call to put him right back, so you're taking a few photos here. But you would have to side with Kobbie based on this position.
Yeah, no. When I did my 11, it was Szoboszlai right back, Kobbie Mainoo, Casemiro in that double pivot. I think Kobbie, since Carrick's come in, has been absolutely excellent.
Yeah.
Number 1 for United in ball recovery, second for progressive passes. And for me, it was always absurd that he wasn't getting a lot of game time under Amorim. I think Szoboszlai had to be in this team, but also Kobbie Mainoo had to be in this team.
That's what I struggled with, is trying to find a way to fit all
Both of
three of them.
And this guy's played at right back a lot and was top level right back when he played there. So that's why I think all three have to be in.
I don't want to have to make an argument against Kobbie Mainoo because I think he's a wonderful young player, and I watched a lot of United this year. I really like the way he plays. If we're being fair, this guy's played a whole season. And, you know, he's done it consistently in a time when Liverpool are really struggling for identity. If you don't want to put Szoboszlai in twice, I completely understand putting him in there so I can consider that. But I genuinely think this guy could go in... Well, I don't think he should be right back, but, I think he should be in there.
Luca, you're cool.
Well, yeah, my call is...
Okay, then we're locked in.
That's not changing.
He just listened to him. Well, yeah, my call.
Because this is also my team so far, so everything is correct.
I really like how you articulated that. You're an intelligent guy, but Luca just went, no, not listening. He's right back.
Isn't it?
In the 10, only one answer here, is it?
Yeah.
Now, should Bruno Fernandes win Premier League Player of the Season for you, Mina?
100%. 100%. He's been we're talking about constants this season. He's been constant. It's crazy to me that he didn't get his first assist until Anfield, which was like towards the end of October. He's essentially had 19 assists in 24 games, and he missed a couple of games as well in the Christmas period. He's had 7 goal contributions in a row so far under Michael Carrick, and I just think he's playing at a top level. And you can even see, I think, playing in the deeper midfield role early in the season under Ruben Amorim, I think it helped him slightly just in his decision making, and he also said that in an interview as well. I think he should win Premier League Player of the Season, and I think he should win PFA Player of the Season.
OK, 19 Premier League assists, 1 behind the record set by Thierry Henry and Kevin De Bruyne. He's going to break that, isn't he, do you think, this season?
Yeah, you'd think so. I also think, those two are big names, and he does sit alongside them in terms of the way that he performs.
Yeah.
I think he's really grown into the role that Manchester United probably envisioned for him when they signed him. And it's only really now that we're seeing that, I think. I think everyone always knew he was good. There was an attitude maybe issue around that when you're begging to be subbed off against Liverpool and things like that.
That's alleged. It was never confirmed. I think it was Gary Neville insinuated.
I think the cameras confirmed it.
There was no confirmation of that.
Yeah, I would definitely say that the perception of Bruno Fernandes has maybe been unfair to him at times. Would be maybe the point that I'm making there. Mm-hmm. He's now grown into the role that United want him to have, and he's by far the best player.
He's definitely up there.
Yeah, got to be in.
Of course.
What a player.
Still
what a season he's having.
And so that brings us to the front three, which we're going to do as all three because there's some different positions, same players. There's a bit of a...
Boom.
So you've gone Flo Wirtz on the right. Mateus Cunha on the left,
You
and
can have
Ugo
him
Ekitike
floating.
through the middle. You've got Ugo Ekitike on the left, Ben Sesko through the middle, and Cunha on the right. I'm going to bring forward another player that I just can't believe isn't in here, which is Brian Mbeumo.
Yeah.
He was.
Especially
I,
as
I
a
was. I was
right
considering
winger.
it. Just, I think the last 2.5 months has been not what we expected from him. And it's funny because the reason why I actually put Mateus Cunha in it is probably recency bias, because Brian Mbeumo started the season better than Mateus Cunha. Mateus Cunha didn't get his first goal until mid-October. Brian Mbeumo had a goal way before that. But I think Mateus Cunha, of recent, when Manchester United's maybe the front three hasn't been as fluid under Michael Carrick as we wanted to, he's been that constant. And he even, was benched against Arsenal, came on, scored the winner, has that winning mentality. And for me, he has to be.
So you both agree that Cunha's there. It's just
Absolutely.
the position.
He's a great player.
But
So, well, I mean,
Flo Wirtz on the right,
That's what I
battling
wanna
with
I can't do
Cunha.
that. I don't know. I mean, you can put them anywhere, really.
I think potentially Florian Wirtz might surprise a few neutrals at home that you've got him in the team over a Brian Mbeumo.
So the reason I put Florian Wirtz in there is, I first of all, I think most people very rarely call out his age. He's 22.
Yeah.
All these other guys are, I think both 26, right? They've also played consistent seasons in the Premier League and have basically hit the ground, in inverted commas, running, even though they've not really blown anyone away statistically. But that's not really their fault, right? This guy's come to the Premier League, and I think from day one you could see there was amazing quality there. He's put the weight that he needed to on in the weight room. And I think Liverpool fans who watch all 90 minutes of every game will tell you he's probably shown in the hardest season we've had that he's still world class. And I would argue that there isn't another player in this front line that shows levels of quality that is truly world class. There are levels that are very high, but there are things that Florian Wirtz does in the game that none of these other guys do. And that's why he's in my team of the season.
Luca, where are you on this?
My attack personally would have been Ekitike, Cunha and Mbeumo. That was my front three.
So no Flo Wirtz.
No, I think with Wirtz, right, I think the second half of the season as well, he's really levelled up his game, and I think he's a fantastic player, and there's no denying the quality he has. But in my opinion, based on this season, I don't think he warrants to be in this team based on consistency, the price tag that Liverpool paid, the expectations of Florian Wirtz's performances. Not to say that technically he's not a better player than a Cunha or an Mbeumo, right? But based on this season, I wouldn't have Wirtz in.
And we've obviously got Ben Sesko in there as well. We haven't spoken about him yet. Been so impressive, particularly under Michael Carrick recently.
Yeah.
Must be excited for next season, especially with him in the forefront.
I'm looking forward to it, but also I think people don't also realise, again, his age, his first year season. And similar to Goalkeeper, I think it's a graveyard shift, a striker at Manchester United over the last number of years. For him to get double-digit goals in the Prem so far, I think he's got 11 in all comps. We ain't played in many other competitions anyway. But also most of his goals have come since Ruben Amorim left.
Yeah.
And I think Michael Carrick's still trying to figure out how does he best see fit, because sometimes we're playing Mbeumo false nine and Sesko coming off of the bench. Sometimes we're seeing Sesko start. But I just think he's kept his head down. He's scored a great catalogue of goals for Manchester United so far. And Hugo Ekitike as well. I think he's unfortunate with his injury. I enjoyed watching him this season. Yeah,
we've got to talk about Ekitike. It's such a shame, well said there about his injury, because how he's coming and impressed. I think everyone thought that Isak would be the marquee signing. I know that you made a lot for high price tags, but Ekitike has had an amazing first season in the Prem, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's a real shame he got injured. I think he's also shown
all comps.
Yeah, he's shown the kind of spirit that you want Liverpool players to show, and I think when Liverpool have basically reprofiled the kind of players they want, they've not only looked at the style of play, but they've also looked at the attitude that those guys have. They've targeted a lot of ex-PSG players. A lot of those guys have got the kind of swagger that I think a lot of modern players want to have, and the individual brilliance, and he's shown those levels and those moments. Again, I don't think that these players should suffer because they've not been set up in the right system. They've shown, I think, very consistently world-class moments. And, as much as we're building Luca's starting 11 here, we should probably look at varying that front line a little bit.
Well, it's well
it's your call, though,
It is your call, Luca.
It is my call, Lawrence.
Cunha's...
Well, can I have Mbeumo or not? Because technically
Neither of us have made a case for Mbeumo.
I'll make a case for Mbeumo. Well, I'll make a case for Mbeumo. Given that he hit the ground running so quickly with Manchester United,
scored against all the top.
Has played in multiple different positions, has scored, like you say, in huge games, away at Anfield, for instance. And I think if you look at the Manchester United front line, it's a big game.
No, he has scored in
big goals in games for Man United.
I get that.
I
get that. But it became very evident, really, I think, a lot this season that...
Scored against Arsenal.
Yeah, I think he's been fantastic. I think there's been a lot of great moments for him this year, and he definitely deserves to be mentioned in that. I just think that there is, because the recency bias at Manchester United, everyone seems to forget what happened before that, and I think there are moments where
He scored a lot of goals in the Amorim
before, yeah,
system,
that was
probably
his
scored
most
more
successful
goals
one, yeah.
under Amorim than he did under Carrick. Post AFCON, he struggled a
But
little.
that's kind of my point, is when you change system, then these guys step into the light, and then he might
They're not
fade
going to
out.
agree. So, Luca, you have the final say with the front three. Where are you going?
I'm
Is
just
he,
gonna
is he in the?
He's in, man. He's in. He's a pickable player.
Well, we know Cunha is
Cunha
on the left.
is locked in.
Yeah.
I think Ekitike's got to be in there.
I think that's the thing.
so
is
Ekitike's
I was
in the
thinking
nine.
about
Yeah,
Mbeumo, but I
Ekitike's
had to put
guaranteed.
Ekitike
I'd put
in
him
there.
through the middle. There's no chance.
Okay, Ekitike through the middle, Cunha, and that leaves
Joseph.
right winger.
Come on, Luca.
Joseph has spoken, and he's put Mbeumo on. Disagree with both of our guests.
And my
Joe's got
my
his
whole
way.
lineup
That
then.
is Luca's. There's confirmation anyway. Let's have a little look at that of Loz and Mina's combined 11 shared.
not really
by
Loz and
Luca.
Mina.
Yeah, it's not
Don't
really
think I had much input
With
on
a
this.
little helping hand from Joe. Everyone involved. Let us know what you think of that at home.